When did someone's act of sabotage turn out to be the best thing that could have happened? My 23-year-old assistant destroyed my $1 million presentation to the city council, and I loved every minute of it. I walked into our conference room just as the lead developer lifted the presentation cloth with a flourish for the city council, revealing Lego castles and Fisher-Price dollhouses where our $1 million architectural models should have been. And I watched his face go from smug confidence to complete horror in under a second. As you can see, our development will feature modern family homes with, he trailed off, now holding a pink Barbie dream house with tiny eviction notices taped to every window, while council members leaned forward in confusion. The managing partner grabbed what he thought was a laser pointer, but turned out to be a sparkly princess wand, and tried to save the presentation by pointing at financial projections, accidentally hitting a button that made it play tinkling fairy music. His business partner attempted to lift what should have been our main model, but instead pressed something on a toy barn that started blaring "Old MacDonald Had a Farm" at full volume. He stood there frantically pressing buttons trying to make it stop, while the lead developer remained frozen, clutching the dream house. Jackie, my 23-year-old assistant, was sitting calmly in the corner and giggling while watching the developer's face turn purple with rage as he realized he couldn't set down the toy without admitting defeat. So he just stood there in his expensive suit, holding pink plastic, while farm animals mooed and oinked from the speakers. "Jackie, you need to explain yourself immediately," I said, while watching a city council member pick up a Fisher-Price school bus where our coffee service should have been. She stood up slowly and walked over to the lead developer, who was desperately trying to maintain authority while holding a toy meant for 5-year-olds. "You want me to explain why I replaced your lies with toys while 43 families at the shelter are telling their kids they're finally getting real bedrooms with doors that close and windows that lock?" She pulled out her phone and showed everyone a photo as the farm sounds finally stopped. "Last week I stayed late and found the real documents they're planning to file after today's approval. And instead of the 3-bedroom family homes you think you're approving, every single unit is actually a studio apartment that legally bars children from living there. Plus, they buried a clause on page 247 that exempts them from paying anything into the school district fund because studios don't count as family housing." She picked up a Lincoln log cabin and threw it at the developer's chest, where it exploded into pieces. "There's a 7-year-old girl at that shelter who taped a crayon drawing of her future purple bedroom to the wall above her cot and practices doing homework at an imaginary desk, while her mom promises her it's really happening this time after 2 years of waiting." The developer tried to set down the dream house, but Jackie grabbed a Lego castle and shoved it into his other hand. "Hold on to those because they're more real than anything you were about to promise these families who've been living in a converted gymnasium where the lights shut off at 9 p.m. while their kids study with flashlights under blankets." The lead council member wasn't smiling anymore as she picked up one of the eviction notices taped to a dollhouse and read it carefully. "Are you telling us they filed false documents about building family housing?" Jackie pulled up an email on her phone and read it aloud in a mocking executive voice. Direct quote from last Tuesday. "Children are a liability that decrease property values, and their parents have no legal recourse once we file the amended plans post-approval. So let's maximize profits with young professionals who will pay triple or half the space." The room went completely silent, except for the sound of Lego blocks falling from the developer's trembling hands. That 8-year-old boy who carries his baseball glove everywhere because his dad promised him a backyard doesn't know you already decided to build a wine bar where his yard should be, Jackie continued, now making a toy school bus drive across his presentation materials. "But sure, tell the council how your luxury studios with smartphone-controlled mood lighting are really about helping families." The developer's lawyer tried to speak, but the developer cut him off. "This is about sustainable development and market realities," he managed to say, while glitter from the princess wand covered his Italian suit. Jackie laughed and picked up the sparkly wand from the table, waving it at him like she was casting a spell. "Sustainable? You were going to steal money meant for elementary school lunch programs to install a rooftop infinity pool, but keep talking about sustainability." The council members were looking at each other with growing anger as one of them picked up a stuffed bear wearing a tiny graduation cap that had replaced the gavel. "Motion to reject this proposal and investigate for fraud?" she asked, squeezing the bear, which responded with "School is cool" in a cheerful electronic voice. "Approved unanimously," the lead member said, standing up while the developer stood there covered in glitter with Lego blocks scattered around his feet. 6 months later, a legitimate developer built actual family homes with real yards and real bedrooms, and the 7-year-old girl who wanted a purple room sent Jackie a video of herself spinning in circles in her new bedroom.